Though there are many other interesting animals in the family Bovidae, we simply must move on if we are going to get through the rest of the order. So let's head into the desert to study a special creature created for life in the hot, sandy parts of the world. I'm talking, of course, about camels. In the Middle East, camels have been an important part of human transportation for a long time. In fact, if you were to talk to someone from the Middle East, sorry, in fact, if you're talking to someone from the Middle East about riding on camels, that person would assume you were talking about camels. Sorry, riding on animals. That person would assume you were talking about camels and not horses. Camels are a part of the family Camelidae, which also include llamas and visunas. Animals in this family are called camelids. Camels are known for their humps. What is the greatest number of humps a camel can have? Can you guess? Although the popular children's song has a camel with many humps, camels only have one or two humps. In fact, only one camel has two humps. The Bactrian camel that lives in Asia. The more common species of camel, the dromedary, has only one hump. Have you ever wondered what those humps were filled with? What do you think? I was told all my life that they were filled with water, and guess what? That's not true. They are filled with fat. Fat is stored in the humps so it can be used when other food is not available. Their humps enable camels to survive during times of famine or a long trek through the hot desert. The longer a camel goes without eating, the smaller and flabbier its humps become. Other animals in this family have no humps. Camels are designed for a life in a desert. You can survive for a long time with no water, and when they finally find a watering hole, they can drink 20 or more gallons of water at one time. Their big eyes are equipped with long lashes that keep out dust, and their nostrils are mere slits that can close up during a dust storm. Also, their two-toed feet are wide to provide more padding and stability when walking on shifting sand. If you ever meet a camel, you should be nice to it. Why? Well, because camels make a point of spitting large amounts of saliva on unfriendly people or unfriendly camels. In fact, all members of this family spit at animals with whom they are not happy. Camelids have been domesticated for thousands of years. They provide not only transportation, but milk and clothing as well. The llama, for example, is shaved like a sheep and its hair is used to make clothing and other items. Llamas have been domesticated for so long that no wild llamas exist anymore unless they are feral. These specific camelids have been designed for life in the mountains. They actually have special blood that allow them to deal with lower levels of oxygen found in such high places. Although you might think that deer belong in family Bovidae with the antelopes, they are different enough from other members of the order Artiodactyla to merit their own family. Cervidae, these cat chewers are found in most parts of the world. One thing that separates deer from other ungulates is their antlers. Bucks grow a beautiful new set of antlers every single year. During the late winter or early spring, a buck's antlers actually fall off. Soon after that, a new set begins to emerge, usually bigger than the set before. The growing antlers are made of bone covered by a layer of velvety skin. They are also very sensitive. Growing antlers require a lot of nutrients, so bucks eat a lot during the spring. The horns harden once they are fully grown, which is usually in the summer. At that point, the velvet dries, cracks, and begins to fall off. The buck rubs its new set of prized antlers on tree trunks and other structures to scrape off the velvet. The tree sap often stains the antlers dark. If you find yourself hiking in the forest in the winter, be sure to look for the discarded antlers of the bucks in that area. So, what are the antlers for? Bucks mostly use them to attract females. A nice pair of antlers tells a doe that the buck is strong and has the ability to find nutritious food. Bucks often spar with other bucks to determine who is the strongest. They begin sparring when they are young. Once their horns are grown, they lock them in clashes that look quite dangerous. However, deer rarely resort to bloodshed. They usually just lock horns, pushing and shoving for a while. Then the weaker one unlocks and runs off. Generally, bucks fight either for territory or for the right to mate with a doe. There are more than 40 different species of deer currently in God's creation, and they each have their own special characteristics. A musk deer, for example, is any member of the collection of several species of deer that produce an extremely powerful scent. Their scent, called musk, has been used for hundreds of years in making perfumes and in natural medicine. Thus, these deers have been hunted for their musk, which sells for about $1,000 a pound. Moose are also part of the family Cervidae, and they represent its largest members. Of course, the most famous deer of all would have to be Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer. In North America, reindeers are often called caribou. They are the only deer species in which females also have antlers. As you may have guessed, they can be found in freezing cold climates in the northernmost regions of the world. They are equipped with furry noses, unlike other deer, for foraging in the snow. They have been given powerful homing instincts that help them find their way home, even through blinding blizzards. If you were to look across the African savanna, you might see something in the distance that looked like heads without bodies, floating above the tree line. That's because giraffes are so tall that they tower above the scattered trees of the African plains where they live. In fact, they are the tallest of all God's creatures alive today. They can grow up to 18 feet tall. It's hard to be impressed with that number unless you actually see how tall 18 feet is. If you have a tape measure, measure about 18 feet along the ground. Now imagine something standing that high.